Be me. 26. Gender Studies graduate student. Research focus on feminist dating theory and patriarchal relationship dynamics. Run feminist dating advice blog with 30K followers. Post constantly about how men should be honored to date empowered women. Always believed feminist women were most desirable partners. We're educated, independent, emotionally intelligent, know our worth, and won't settle for less. Men should be competing to date us, not running away. Post weekly about green flags in feminist women, strong boundaries, financial independence. Won't tolerate disrespect. Understand consent culture. Challenge traditional gender roles. Get hundreds of supportive comments from women. Feel confident that feminism makes women better partners in every way. Tuesday evening, girls' night with feminist friends. Topic turns to dating struggles everyone's experiencing. Pattern emerges that confuses me completely. Sarah says guys seem interested initially but disappear after few dates. Emma describes men who ghost after learning about her feminist activism. Jess complains that men lose enthusiasm once they understand her political views. All intelligent, successful, attractive women. All having similar problems with male retention in dating. Feel puzzled by universal experience among feminist friends. Wednesday, check dating app messages with fresh perspective. Notice pattern I previously ignored. Conversations that start enthusiastically often die after I mention feminist views. Guys who seem genuinely interested become distant after discussing my academic work or political activism. One guy specifically said I seemed intense after I corrected his language around consent culture. Thursday, decide to investigate this phenomenon systematically. Post on feminist blog asking readers about their dating experiences. Responses flood in immediately. Hundreds of women sharing similar stories. Men who ghost after learning about feminist involvement. Dates that go well until political topics arise. Relationships that end when men discover activist social media. Pattern too consistent to ignore. Friday, research from different angle. Look up what men actually say about dating feminist women online. Find forums, Reddit threads, dating advice sites where men discuss feminist women as romantic partners. Comments are eye-opening and uncomfortable. Too much drama and conflict over everything. Always looking for things to be offended by. Can't have normal conversation without getting lectured. Everything becomes political argument. Feel like I'm walking on eggshells constantly. They see misogyny in basic human interactions. Weekend, deeper research into male perspectives on feminist dating. Read through relationship advice forums, dating coaches, men's discussion groups. Consistent themes emerge about why men avoid feminist women. Constant criticism of male behavior, everything interpreted through oppression lens. Unable to relax because any comment might be problematic. Feeling judged for being male. Relationships become political battlegrounds rather than intimate connections. Feel defensive reading these criticisms but can't deny their consistency across different male voices. Monday, examine my own dating behavior with new awareness. Review recent dates and relationships looking for patterns men described. Realize I do frequently correct male language and behavior. Point out microaggressions and problematic comments. Turn casual conversations into teachable moments about gender dynamics. Remember date where guy mentioned liking action movies and I launched into analysis of toxic masculinity in Hollywood. He seemed uncomfortable, but I thought he needed education. Tuesday, interview male friends about dating preferences. Ask specifically about feminist women as potential partners. Responses are diplomatically honest. They appreciate feminist goals but find activist women exhausting to date. Describe feeling constantly evaluated and criticized. Say relationships feel like performance reviews rather than partnerships. One friend admits he specifically avoids women with feminist content on social media because experience taught him those relationships involve too much conflict. Wednesday, analyze feminist dating advice I've been giving on blog. Realize most content focuses on what women deserve from men, rather than what women bring to relationships. My posts emphasize setting boundaries, demanding respect, refusing to settle. Very little about being pleasant, supportive, or accommodating to male needs and preferences. Advice essentially trains women to be demanding rather than appealing as romantic partners. Thursday, research successful long-term relationships between feminist women and men. Interview couples who made it work despite ideological differences. Find that successful feminist relationships involve women who compartmentalize activism from intimate relationships. They maintain political views but don't make every interaction a teaching moment. These women create space for men to be human without constant political scrutiny. Friday, weekend reflection on findings so far. Starting to understand why men ghost feminist women. Dating feminist activists often means being constantly criticized, corrected, and educated. Relationships become work rather than refuge. Men seek partners who make them feel good, not partners who make them feel problematic. Monday, examine feminist dating culture more critically. Look at advice given in women's magazines, social media, dating coaches. Find consistent messaging that encourages women to be demanding, critical, and uncompromising. Know your worth. Don't settle. Hold men accountable. Call out problematic behavior. All technically valid advice but creates dating approach focused on judgment rather than connection. Tuesday, experiment with different dating behavior. Go on date without mentioning feminist views or correcting any male comments. Instead of analyzing his choice in restaurant for gender implications, just enjoy the food. Instead of critiquing his conversation topics, engage enthusiastically. Instead of testing his feminist knowledge, focus on finding common ground. Date goes significantly better than recent experiences. Guy seems relaxed and genuinely interested. Ask for second date immediately. Wednesday, continue behavioral experiment on dating apps. Remove feminist content from profiles. Focus on interests, humor, and positive personality traits rather than political identity. Match rate increases noticeably. Conversations last longer. Men seem more enthusiastic about meeting in person. Feel conflicted about hiding feminist identity, but can't deny improved results. Thursday, research what men actually find attractive in women for long-term relationships. Study surveys, dating coaches, relationship experts. Consistent traits emerge: warmth, supportiveness, emotional stability, enthusiasm, positivity, ability to make men feel appreciated and respected. Notice that feminist dating advice often discourages these traits as, quote, catering to male ego or patriarchal conditioning. Friday, interview women in happy long-term relationships about their approach to dating and partnership. Find that successful women often maintain feminist beliefs privately but create positive, supportive relationship dynamics. They choose battles carefully and prioritize connection over constant political education. These women understand that intimate relationships require different skills than activist movements. Weekend, month into research. Pattern becoming undeniably clear. Men ghost feminist women because dating activists often means constant criticism and political tension. Men seek partners who enhance their lives, not partners who make them feel perpetually inadequate. Monday, examine my own relationship history with new perspective. Every breakup involved increasing conflict over political topics. Men described feeling judged and criticized constantly. I interpreted their discomfort as resistance to growth and education, now realized they were seeking emotional connection that I was replacing with political activism. Tuesday, research difference between personal relationships and political movements. Study how successful activists maintain intimate connections. Find that most effective activists compartmentalize their work from personal relationships. They understand that changing society requires different skills than maintaining romance. Trying to turn every relationship into activism opportunity damages both goals. Wednesday, interview dating coaches who work with feminist women. Ask about common problems they see. Report that feminist clients often struggle with being too critical, demanding, and politically focused in dating contexts. Spend more energy educating men than connecting with them. Most successful coaching involves teaching women when to set aside activist identity and focus on building genuine intimacy. Thursday, examine social media content from successful feminist women in relationships. Study how they balance political identity with romantic appeal. Find that most keep activist content separate from dating profiles and relationship posts. They maintain political views but don't lead with them in romantic contexts. These women understand that attraction and political alignment are different qualities. Friday, 6 weeks into research. Ready to acknowledge uncomfortable truths about feminist dating struggles. Men aren't ghosting feminists because they hate strong women. They're avoiding relationships that feel like constant political education rather than emotional connection. Weekend. Test new approach to dating that balances feminist identity with relationship skills. Focus on connection first, politics later. Results are immediate and dramatic. Men seem more relaxed and enthusiastic. Conversations flow naturally without tension. Dates lead to second dates more frequently. Monday. Write blog post about findings despite knowing it will anger feminist readers. Title: Why Your Feminism Might Be Ruining Your Dating Life. Argue that successful relationships require different skills than successful activism. Political identity shouldn't dominate romantic interactions. Immediate backlash from feminist community. Called internalized misogynist and traitor for suggesting women modify behavior to appeal to men. Tuesday. Defend research against accusations of anti-feminism. Clarify that maintaining political beliefs while developing relationship skills isn't betraying feminism. Point out that unsuccessful dating doesn't advance feminist cause. Happy feminist women in healthy relationships are better advocates than bitter single activists. Wednesday. Interview women who changed dating approach after similar realizations. Ask about results and feelings. Most report significant improvement in dating success and relationship satisfaction. Men respond positively to warmth and support combined with intelligence and independence. These women maintain feminist values while creating appealing romantic partnerships. Thursday. Research long-term effects of combative dating approach. Study what happens to feminist women who continue prioritizing political education over connection. Find higher rates of relationship failure, increasing bitterness toward men, and tendency to blame patriarchy for personal romantic problems. Women who can't separate activism from intimacy often end up alone and angry. Friday, 2 months after starting research. Fundamental shift in understanding of feminist dating problems. Issue isn't that men can't handle strong women. Issue is that many feminist women create relationships based on conflict rather than connection. Men ghost because dating activists often means being constantly corrected and criticized rather than appreciated and supported. Weekend. Reflection on how feminist culture inadvertently sabotages women's romantic success. Movement teaches women to be suspicious, demanding, and critical of men. These traits might be useful for political change but toxic for intimate relationships. Women internalize adversarial approach that makes them unappealing as romantic partners. Monday. Develop new framework for feminist dating that balances political identity with relationship success. Maintain beliefs and values while creating positive relationship dynamics. Choose appropriate times for political discussions. Focus on connection and compatibility rather than education and correction. Tuesday. Test framework with new dating experiences. Practice being warm and supportive while maintaining personal boundaries and self-respect. Results exceed expectations. Men respond enthusiastically to combination of intelligence and kindness. Relationships develop more naturally when not overshadowed by political tension. Wednesday. Share framework with feminist friends experiencing dating struggles. Teach them how to compartmentalize activism from romance. Mixed reception. Some grateful for practical advice. Others resistant to changing approach that feels authentic to their political identity. Thursday. Research what men actually want from feminist partners. Interview men in successful relationships with politically active women. Find that men appreciate feminist values when expressed through positive relationship behavior, equality, respect, independence, intelligence. Problem arises when feminism becomes criticism, suspicion, and constant conflict. Men want partners who enhance their lives, not partners who make them feel perpetually problematic. Friday. 3 months after beginning research. Ready to publish findings about feminist dating struggles. Conclude that political identity and romantic appeal require different skill sets. Successful feminist women learn to balance both, rather than sacrificing relationship skills for ideological purity. Men ghost feminist women who make dating feel like political education rather than emotional connection. Weekend. Final reflection on what research revealed about feminism and relationships. Movement inadvertently trained women to approach men with suspicion and criticism rather than warmth and appreciation. This approach might be appropriate for challenging systemic oppression but counterproductive for building intimate partnerships. Monday, 6 months later. completely changed approach to dating and relationships while maintaining feminist political beliefs. In relationship with man who appreciates my intelligence and independence, because I create positive dynamic rather than adversarial one. Still advocate for women's rights but understand that personal relationships require different skills than political movements. Tuesday, help other feminist women navigate dating challenges by teaching relationship skills alongside political awareness. Most successful when women learn to compartmentalize activism from intimacy. Both goals achieved more effectively when kept separate. Wednesday, continue research on how political identity affects romantic success across different movements and demographics. Pattern consistent. People who lead with ideology rather than personality struggle in dating regardless of their political beliefs. Successful relationships form around personal connection first, shared values second. Thursday, final blog post about feminist dating research. Title: How to be Feminist and Dateable, a Guide to Relationship Success. Argue that maintaining political beliefs while developing relationship skills isn't compromise, it's competence in different life areas. Friday, reflection on transformation from struggling feminist dater to successful relationship coach. Learned that men don't ghost feminists because they hate strong women. They avoid relationships that feel like constant political battle rather than emotional sanctuary. Maybe successful feminism includes being the kind of partner who makes men want to support women's rights rather than avoid feminist women entirely. Just a thought.